What's up, YouTube? Special shout out to the subscribers and welcome to another weekly training video where I'm here to talk through all the training and discuss everything that's going into preparing for IRONMAN Texas coming up in April of 2026. In today's video, I'm going to briefly touch on the shoulder neck discomfort situation that I brought up last week. We'll take a look at how all of the training went during last week, and then also take a look at the training I have on my plan coming up in the coming week. We're also going to do something a little bit special and fun today. We're going to sign up for IRONMAN Texas. I'm going to officially register, pay the money, get everything set in stone and signed up for IRONMAN Texas. It's going to feel good. I'm excited to do it here and share it with everyone here on the channel as well. So let's get started with a quick sort of talk through about my shoulder and neck situation. Last week, on Monday, I was here and I talked about how on Saturday I had sort of tweaked something in my neck while doing some push-ups and pull-ups after my run. I was able to get on my bike the next day and have a pretty normal ride. However, I was having some trouble sleeping on Saturday night. I was having a little bit of trouble sleeping on Sunday night as well. And on Monday, when I recorded the video last week, I had gone to the pool and I really had to take it extremely easy. Every flip turn that I was doing, I was feeling my neck and I was feeling my whole left side feel kind of not right. So that's the situation I was in last Monday. Fortunately, things have definitely started to progress in a good direction since then. I was able to get all of my training done and I did not have any negative impact from my neck or my shoulder during my training last week. I also can say that sitting here a week later, I have not had any discomfort in my neck sleeping the last couple of nights. And just going about my day, moving around, it's sort of a distant memory. It's in the rear view. The specific spot that got really angry is kind of completely blended back into the background. I'm not even sure what it is. And now I just have some sort of residual normal fatigue. It just feels like my left side is just a little bit more overworked than my right. And honestly, all of this is I consider to be good news. I'm a little bit like Chicken Little. I think the sky is falling a lot when my body is, not feeling, the way I expect it to or the way that I think it should. But long story short, that week ended up being a productive week of training. I didn't actually have to adjust anything to accommodate for my neck and my shoulder. So, like I mentioned, I did a very sort of simple, easy swim on Monday. Just wanted to get moving and, start the recovery process on my neck and shoulder. Moving into Tuesday, I had a pretty, it's a simple workout, 40-minute zone 3, very simple on the surface. But I find that depending on how much fatigue I'm carrying into a workout like that, it can either be something I feel like I'm on top of or something that I feel like I'm needing to work a little bit too hard for. Meaning that a zone 3 effort shouldn't feel like a threshold effort where you're having to mentally hammer down and dig deep. Those things necessarily, in my opinion, shouldn't be happening in a zone 3 effort. And I'd say the first 30 minutes of my zone 3 effort on Tuesday felt pretty good. I was on top of it. The last 10 minutes though, I felt like it was, a little bit more difficult than it should be. And I also want to mention that during this 40 minutes, I was trying to pay close attention to my heart rate because a lot of times I can end up spending plenty of time in my power zone, but my heart rate zone will not correlate. So what I mean is I could spend 40 minutes averaging my zone 3 power and my heart rate might actually stay in zone 2. So when I got about 25-30 minutes into the effort, I recognized that my heart rate had mostly been in zone 2, and I did increase the wattage on my erg mode from like 260 up to about 270 in an effort to get my heart rate to rise up into that zone 3 and spend a little bit of time up there. So as you can see, the last maybe 10 minutes of this effort, my heart rate average was 167, which is zone 3 for me. So I was able to get my heart rate up there, but the perceived effort just felt a little extreme for zone 3. It just, some days things feel hard. So yeah, the first 20 minutes of that zone 3 effort, I'm in zone 2 heart rate, pushed the power up and got my heart rate to jump up in there to zone 3 for a little while. All in all, that 40-minute interval looks like I averaged about 267 watts, which is a good 25 or so watts above the floor of my zone 3. So really happy with it. And, hopefully next time I have a 40-minute zone 3 set, I'll feel a little bit more on top of it, even in the last 10 minutes. So got off the bike, went for a quick run. It was a easy pace out, increased pace back type of run, and that went off with no issues. Moving into Wednesday, I had a speed work session. This is a workout that I've done probably 20 times at this point in the last couple of years. I'm very familiar with it. It's a 400, a 600, an 800, and 1,000 meter interval at my 10K effort, and then 800, 600, 400 at a slightly faster 5K effort. This was a good workout because I had done it a couple weeks ago and I really had struggled to hit my 5K pace for the end of the workout. This time it went a little bit better. I think I hit my pace for all the 10K efforts, maybe off by a few seconds on one or two of them. I actually have trouble pacing 600-meter efforts for some reason. That's just like a tricky one. Like I feel like I'm holding back because it's longer than a 400, so I'm sort of trying to pace myself, and then when I'm trying to, I'll be trying to speed up, like, okay, let's finish strong, and then it just ends. I don't know, it's weird. Like I can pace myself for a 400 and an 800 a little bit better than I can pace myself for a 600. So let's take a quick look. I was really happy with the 800 that I ran. I think it was just over, was it 316? No, that wasn't it. No, that wasn't it. 0.37, 255. It's always hard to tell. I always think that I'll get in here and it'll be really easy to like analyze this stuff, but it tends to not be as easy as I think it will be. So yeah, I did that 800 at 5K effort at about 610, 608 per mile, and then the last 400 I was able to just sneak under 6-minute mile pace, and basically finish stronger than I had the last time I did that set. So good speed workout session on Wednesday, trying to get more comfortable in these faster paces. On Thursday, I moved on to a nice easy ride, and I had my sport-specific strength session that day as well. Also had the session on Tuesday, so I did the strength session on Tuesday and also on Thursday. And that is week 11 of a 12-week strength program. So I'm actually looking to finish that program this week. It's week 12. So feeling pretty good about that, and I'll have more to talk about that once the 12 weeks is up. I'll have some thoughts on how that program went. So moving on to Friday, back to the pool, and I was determined to try and swim a little bit more normally than I had on Monday. So at this point on Friday, I think that discomfort was really starting to go away. Big question mark in my head was, can I go to the pool? Can I swim a steady, moderate effort in the water and, feel okay on my left side? And the answer to that question was yes. I'm very happy to say that Friday's swim went really well. I even felt comfortable enough to really push the effort on some of the last intervals that I did. I think I swam 100 and just under, yeah, that one right there. I swam 100 yards in a minute 23, which for me is like, that was pretty much everything I had. Like I was like, all right, last 100, let's try to sprint it as best as I can. My lifetime best time for a 100, just for reference, is somewhere around 70 seconds, so about a minute 10. So, I'm 13 seconds off of where I've been in the past in terms of how fast I can swim a 100. However, I don't think I've swam a 100 faster than a minute 30 per 100. I don't think I've done that more than once or twice in the last 6 months. So I really am trying to get my body used to the idea of swimming faster. I'm not training for an Ironman race right now. I don't need to really focus on that endurance side of things. I'm hoping to be able to spend more time in the pool in the coming few weeks and get more comfortable swimming at that faster pace. And we'll see how that goes. On to Saturday's run. This was probably the toughest workout of the week. I was a little bit sore, or quite a bit sore, after the speed work on Wednesday. And on Saturday's run, I had 3 by 1,200 meters at 5K effort. So this is the sort of the fastest pace that I'm ever running in training. outside of like sprints, or I very rarely do anything like that. I've done some 200-meter efforts in the past where I'm getting a little bit faster turnover, but for the most part, the top speed I have to work with has been traditionally around that 6:15 to 6 minute per mile, which is sort of my 5K effort range right now. And it's challenging mentally and physically for me to run at this pace, but I'm really trying to get myself to be more comfortable there. So the first two intervals on this run, I felt good about. I held them right around 6:20 something, 6:27 for the first one there, and then let's see what the other one was. So 6:27 and 6:27. There has to be another one here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. 6:27, 6:27 and 6:31. So I'm about 15 to 20 seconds off the target pace that I'm shooting for just to begin with. So on the third effort, I was really trying to psych myself up. I'm like, all right, this is the one. Pretend that it's the last 800 meters of the race. Try to get the bells ringing in your head and just hammer, hammer, hammer. Come on, 6:10 per mile. You got this. These are the things I'm trying to tell myself while I'm just trying to catch my breath after the second interval. And I started running, and as you can see, I started out and I hit 6:10 per mile. And then within like 30 seconds of starting that run, it was very clear. Like I felt like a wave rush over me of fatigue. And it was just like, okay, I don't know if I quite have this in me. And it was pretty tempting. I almost just bailed on that final interval. I almost was just like, I know I can't do it. But I decided to persist, and you'll see this little graph here. I mean, my pace just goes just like linearly slows down over that 5 minutes, and my heart rate just slams up 185. So man, that was tough on Saturday. That last 1200, I'm just running, my heart rate is slammed. I can feel myself sort of slowing down, and the mental tricks that I'm trying to tell myself to sort of pretend raise the stakes, that just sort of went out the window. But I'm really glad that I didn't bail on it. I was close to just completely bailing on it, but I didn't. So Saturday was tough. Also made the day a little bit more challenging. We had some company over on Saturday. I ended up having probably 5 or 6 drinks, which is like way above my normal amount. Caused me to have some really, really doo-doo sleep on Saturday night. I woke up on Sunday just wondering how I ever used to drink that much on a daily basis. In earlier periods of my life, I've consumed a lot more alcohol, a lot more regularly. Luckily, the way I felt on Sunday morning, I can handle feeling that sort of like burn of drinking the day before. I don't know if I would call it hungover necessarily, but just you're not fresh. But I was fortunately able to get on my bike and sort of wake up, and I don't feel like it affected my training very much on Sunday as well. So I got away with that one. Sunday was, it was an hour and 10 minute of zone 3 steady state. So very similar to my workout I had done on Tuesday of 40-minute zone 3. This was 110 minutes of zone 3, so considerably more. However, I went and did it on the road, and it's just really hard on the routes that we have around here to get a chunk of road where you can just maintain an effort like that for longer than 12, 15 minutes. It's certainly not going to get 110 minutes of smooth riding to do. So I really just had to just do my best to ride in zone 3 as much as I possibly could. The way that shook out, it wasn't quite as much zone 3 time as I was supposed to have on the workout, but I still got close to about 50 minutes of time in zone 3. If we look here, that was like 11 minutes, 15 minutes at 26, 27 minutes, plus another, that's like 40, and about 48, 53, and another 2 minutes. So roughly an hour of time spent in zone 3 or above, which is definitely short of 110 minutes, but still, I'm proud of the effort. I think I did my best. In the future, I think I might decide to do rides like this where I have that long interval. I might choose to do them on the trainer just to really make it a little bit more controlled environment. But I gotta say, I really gotta admit that I love doing these Sunday rides outdoors, even if I know that means I might not get to execute the workout exactly as it's written. So, all right, that is last week. Let's take a quick look at the week coming up. And it's pretty similar to this previous week. Had a great swim this morning. I feel like I'm on a little bit of a roll here with my swims. A little bit longer in the water today, 2,200 yards. I averaged about a minute 36 per 100 moving pace for freestyle, which is a step in the right direction. Went ahead and did a very easy 20-minute run. Took that as a bit of a recovery run. I think I kept my heart rate average under 132. I was thinking maybe I averaged in the 120s, but there's something about these recovery runs. I can get the first 10 minutes done, and then it's like I just start speeding up that last half. I'm like trying to stay under control, but the pace just keeps increasing. So recovery runs are tricky for me, but I'm glad I got that done. Tomorrow we've got strength, sport-specific strength session. I am on week 12 of the WUCAR 12-week strength program. 12-week strength training program. So that is going well. I'm looking to catch up and talk to the coach that I've been working with on that plan and look at programming some custom strength training for me moving forward in the coming weeks. So I'm definitely excited about that, and I'll have an update about that next week. On the bike tomorrow, I've got 30-30s, so that's 30-second sprints with 30 seconds of recovery in zone 3. 4 sets of 5, that's going to be 20 total sprints, and I'm going to be targeting around 385 watts for 30 seconds and recovering around 270 watts. It's a really tough one, but I've done it recently and I'm eager to get back and do it again. Wednesday, I've got more speed work, more running to do. This one is 5 by 400 at 5K pace. I like this. I am curious to get out there and run some 400s and see if I can't get that pace to creep under 6 minutes per mile for 400s. That should be interesting this week. On Thursday, I've got another strength-specific weight workout to do. I have a 45-minute easy ride to do on Thursday. I'm also going to go see a sports chiropractor on Thursday. I want to get her opinion on some of the stuff I've been dealing with on my left side, like my neck, my shoulder. Also having some discomfort in my left heel area and calf, and I think it's time to have a professional sort of take a look and weigh in. So doing that on Thursday. Friday, back to the pool. Saturday, we have a hour 20 endurance run. Main set is 2 by 1 mile at tempo effort, so that's going to be a little bit slower than that 10K and 5K pace. I feel like I've got that one in the bag. I'm not stressed about it the way I was stressed about last Saturday's run all week. And on Sunday, got a 2-hour bike ride with a 20-minute run. Main set is 2 by 10 minute zone 4. Alrighty, so that is all the training stuff. Got that done, got that out of the way. Now, let's go sign up for IRONMAN Texas. How about we go and sign up for IRONMAN Texas? Let's see how this goes. We're going to go ahead and do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and go to ironman.com. IRONMAN Texas comes right up. Texas. All right, accept the cookies. I don't want to subscribe. I want to register. Yes. We will register. Flex 90 early benefits. Oh my God, look at the price tag. Look at that price tag, y'all. That's $1,000. Let's go. I've got the credit card ready to roll here. All right, we're doing one. We're going to go to checkout. All this stuff should kind of automatically populate here. I don't really want to get IRONMAN emails. I don't want to hear about the IRONMAN Foundation. I don't want to get metal engraving. No thanks. I don't want to get this registration t-shirt. That's okay. That's okay. I don't need any of this stuff. Oh my gosh, they're just trying to get you to buy everything. Cycling bibs. No. What is this? No. No, I don't need a hotel. No. No, none. None. No. Nope. And we don't need finisher photos right now. Yeah, I'd like to see them. No, I don't need a training package. Oh my goodness. No, I don't need a feed credit. No, I don't need a Ruby opt-in. Oh my God. What else do I need? No, I don't need emails from Martin. As you can see, there's a lot of things that go into signing up for an Ironman here. I'm trying to blaze through this here. Quintana-Roo opt-in. What? No. I don't need an Ironman discount for a bike. No, thank you. Oh my God. I don't need any AG1 privacy. I understand. Additional purchases. I understand. Consent. I agree. All right, I agree. Arbitration, I agree. I agree. I agree. And then sign my name. Okay. All right, continue. All right, are we ready? Let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! There it is. And we have done it. It is done. I have just signed up for IRONMAN Texas, April 2026. Thank you so much for checking this out. It was fun to do this today. I am looking forward to coming back next week with another update. Until then, if you have anything you'd like to add, please put it in the comments below. Appreciate you taking the time, and I'll see you in the next one.